everyone? Welcome back to the Radiant Rocket League Series. We're in our final semi-final, the last one, I gotta say. I almost debated you guys. BS Plus versus Flashes of Brilliance. I'm joined by two new casters. Well, you guys know their faces at this point. Professional Rocket League player Karma at the end, and Jorby, RLCS analyst and caster by my side. And we have a tough one to call coming up. BS Plus versus Flashes of Brilliance. And when we interviewed Courtney from KCP just now, she called BS Plus. Karma, what are your thoughts? Are you thinking she's right?
I mean, after their performance earlier, it's hard to just say, nah, I don't think so. I mean, they dropped like 25 goals. 10-1 was one of the score lines. They looked mechanically confident. They looked like they were trusting each other. It seemed like the chemistry was there. It's really hard to argue against them right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. BS Plus looked really strong, but you know, Karma, you and I were kind of talking about it off camera for a little bit about Flashes of Brilliance and how, you know, they don't really do too much behind the ball. It's not like BS Plus, who love the flashy mechanics, always going for flip resets, always trying to outplay you. Flashes of Brilliance, not really the same type of play style, and just because you don't always go for the mechanical outplay doesn't necessarily mean you're the worst team. So I think that's an interesting clash of styles here for this matchup.
I mean, these are some of the best mechanical players there is in this tournament, and the winner of this goes up against Kansas City Pioneers in the grand final. And this is a tough one to call. We'll get predictions going in a second. Twitch chat, you can be involved, but Courtney said this is going to go to a game 5. BS Plus being, I believe, the second best team in the Premier League. Flashes of Brilliance, the third best team. And it's kind of funny, Karma, that we have the first, second, and third best teams from the Premier League all getting to this point. So that WCBC experience is really showing.
Yeah, some good seeding put on by Radiant as well. I don't know, as Jorby said, it's a really interesting matchup. You have like the fundamental rotation heavy, no double commits, solid midfield presence type team in FOB versus this mechanically aggressive, in your face type BS Plus competition roster, and it's gonna be a battle.
Yeah, I think this is the first time in this tournament where we're going to see both of these teams tested to their full limit, because, you know, like WCBC, all the 4 top teams made it to the semifinals. Parabellum Black still had a lot of issues, though, against Kansas City Pioneers, but that holds up against how they performed in WCBC against them. So, but Flashes of Brilliance and BS Plus are a lot closer, and so I think you're not going to see Kira win as many 50s as easily. I don't think you're going to see that midfield dominance from Flashes of Brilliance. I think it's going to be a tug of war. That's what makes it so exciting.
Absolutely, but BS Plus, they like to suffocate their opponents. Remember that 10-1 game 3 that they had against Silver Sirens in the quarterfinal? But I think this is going to be a much more evenly matchup. I'm not expecting double digits, but BS Plus, they came packing punches. And we want to hear from you, Twitch chat, about what your predictions will be. Any WCBC experts out there? Let us know your predictions between BS Plus and Flashes of Brilliance. Who's going to take this match? And while you guys are tallying your votes, I'm going to look at you, Karma, right in the eyeball. I want you to call with confidence who is going to take this series.
Yeah, it's tough. I think Twitch chat and I, we do have a tumultuous relationship, but
really,
I'm gonna side on Flashes of Brilliance here. I'm going against Courtney actually. There's just me personally, I like the fundamental play style. I like nailing the basics. I like the rotations. I like the comms, and that's just something that I like. I talk about a lot of the time from my personal view when I'm analyzing, stuff like that. While I do think BS Plus is a good matchup and it could tilt in their favor, I like FOB here.
Well, look, if you peeked at the RLCS results of Copa de Rocket League today, you'll know that the most mechanical team right now is Team Queso, and they ended up taking the tournament. Right now, to me, the most mechanical team in this tournament is BS Plus Competition, and they're going to take this series against Flashes of Brilliance. And I do agree with Courtney on one thing. I can see 5 games for sure. And I think, well, actually, I agree with her on 2 things. She thinks BS Plus is going to win. But I do think it's going to be close, not a far stretch at all.
This is a tough one to call because they faced both Flashes of Brilliance and BS Plus have faced each other before, and we were hinting at this at the start of the day. and it was BS Plus who I believe got beat by Flashes of Brilliance. So they really wanted to get their revenge in this semifinal right here. And I think BS Plus are not playing around with that 10-1 scoreline. I'm going BS Plus all the way. I also laughed because when you said Team Queso, I thought it was a Chipotle segment. You were about to take. I thought you were trying to take my job, and I was not about it. So.
I'm not that good at segues.
All right, chat. Let's
Come on,
segue
chat,
into this.
Please.
What do you got, chat? 73. That is heavy.
Wow. It's because
Betrayed
Karma
again.
It's because
Yeah.
Karma picked Flashes of Brilliance. It
I
probably would have been
understand.
50-50 if she would have won BS Plus, you know, but
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately.
I get it. They're mad that I'm right more than they are. It's not a personal thing, Twitch chat. It's just how it is. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm going to tell you how this one's going to go. It's a semifinal best-of-5 tournament. Who's going up against the Kansas City Pioneers in the grand final coming up right after this, as Game 1 is about to hit the field.
Game number 1 of our second semifinal. BS Plus competition. They've got the mechanics. They've got the skill, Flashes of Brilliance. They've got the synergy. They've got the foundation. Which one will get over the other? Sophie could not stop scoring in their last series. The Ducks gonna push this one downfield. Has one off the redirect, just off the crossbar and taken away.
BS Plus opening up fast. Goal was there. Bit of a nice off shot, nice save though, coming out of Flashes of Brilliance. And I think you're going to try and see early how FOB is going to handle this BS Plus competition team with the mechanics. Are they going to double commit? Are they going to panic a bit? Or are they just going to dominate the midfield like they do, nice and calm, trust each other, and handle it with ease?
So far, Sophie might have had a shot, but they tied each other up, and sometimes it works completely, fooling the defense as to who was going to touch that ball, and no one touched it.
Yeah, just a little further back, BS Plus does this all the time. They're off their own back wall. They find a teammate on the side wall for that insta counterattack. Put the last defender in a really tough position, especially. Sometimes, Jorby, when you have those two players coming at you, it can be a bit confusing as to which one's going to hit the ball. Causes a little hesitation, and Crimson just slots it home.
Doesn't matter how it looks, just as long as it goes in. Sophie, again, tags Stevens, which we believe is her last name, as I was told. Maybe we'll refer to her as Stevens from now on to avoid confusion. Pushed back out by Kira, back over to her teammate, but it's cut off by Crimson in midfield. Got the midfield boost, but couldn't get back up to the 50.
Yeah, nice midfield presence from BS. They're not nice bump though, leaving the net somewhat open. Crimson on the rotation back, puts it high, but Tally wants to keep this pressure on. She does. It's not going to land for her teammate though. Kira chooses to pass it off the corner wall. Interesting decision. Sophie reads it, double, not there. And Kira, she's just going to ever so carefully put it to the side.
That's the danger with BS Plus competition. Even if they're right in front of the net, they have the ability to put the ball up high and try to hit you with that kind of outplay. It makes life really uncomfortable in front of the box. Speaking of uncomfortable, Tallybird barely gets that ball out. Does prevent a shot from happening, but BS Plus trying to put the clamp down on midfield here. And a big win. Crimson had a fail-safe, and it was Ducks booming it back downfield.
Yeah, that's the touch FOB needs to be there for. Those big clears coming out of the defensive half from BS. You don't want to allow it to just float all the way to the back wall. Get up there in the midfield challenge. Maybe make a passing play. Maybe send it back in. But just allowing a ball to float all the way downfield like that, that's not typically something you see out of Flashes of Brilliance.
Especially knowing each team is capable of punishing you with a quick counterattack. Trying to go back to that small ball play and finding your teammates rather than booming it back in a way where you can't actually make a play onto the ball. Flashes of Brilliance have been able to grab control of midfield. Tallybird burned all of her boost to try to get back to that ball. It was good enough to keep the push alive. You see midfield boost being taken by Flashes of Brilliance, but they're using a lot on this push. As Crimson got the redirect, what a shot from midfield!
Yeah, Crimson snuck all the way downfield. Look at the top of your screen. She's coming from the opponent's boost. A clear off the back wall. Caught an opponent greeting for the midfield boost there. And with a precise shot, bottom right, with speed, beats everyone out. Up 2-0 early.
Very dangerous just to have a player be able to redirect it with accuracy from that spot on the field. Flashes of Brilliance really got to keep their cameras on a swivel. This one popped up high and it's taken away. That's saved by Stevens. Kira might have a chance at the ball, but didn't have any boost, had to wrap around. Talibird will also send this one across. And Flashes of Brilliance keep getting pushed back to the corners on offense. That's a nice setup, though. Talibird goes underneath. What a play! Flashes of Brilliance cut the lead.
Fake the defender out of her shoes. Look at Tally here. Turns, jumps like she's going high. Right here, nope, I'm going underneath. Crimson, see you later. They're back in this 1-2 FOB.
And good hustle as well from her teammate to get up in front of that challenge and get that soft touch to open that whole opportunity up, because that was going to be a quick clear if they had not gotten back to that ball. But here, push back down. And Flashes of Brilliance trying to push this ball back out. Angie in an octane this time, but it's Stevens who punishes, and BS Plus up by 2.
A little foggy in the field. Stevens absolutely dusting the defender here, puts it in the open net. Actually, didn't see that 2 defenders up from FOB. That's not something you typically see, Jorby. Maybe they're feeling the pressure from BS Plus that we talked about on the desk, the mechanical, the extra touches, the extra presence, forcing that Flashes of Brilliance team into a double commit, and we haven't seen that from them all day.
No, they have looked really clean all day, but this is definitely the toughest match that they've had so far. Talibird and company trying to make it work, but just could not really get contact. No one with any boost. Talibird going to pick up a canister, but then just punch the ball away with full boost, even though she had an opportunity to control it. Popped up against the back wall. Shot coming. Is it in? No. Saved. Carolina.
Nice save, but Angie, in an awkward situation, puts that mid. Kira forced to again, she does. Great control on the side. Tally, though, beat. The ball's up high. So a redirect from Ducks. It's falling towards the net. Turned aside. No boost on the defender, though, and Steven, you know she's a lethal shooter. She's been doing it all day, and she does it again to ice up this game for BS Plus.
And Talibird just took too wide of an angle. She had to jump a little earlier at that ball. You see her kind of swing wide to the right side of the ball. I'm not sure if she saw the attacker. She knew she had to be quick, but I don't know if she knew she had to be that quick. Just jumping a little bit earlier, that timing, very important to get that ball out. And Karma, BS Plus, trying to make a statement here in game 1. A flurry of goals to start. I mean, 4-1 is certainly nothing to scoff at. Flashes of Brilliance go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, and Tally, I'm not trying to call her out here, but those little touches are so important. Remember, she had the free ball on the back end and, you know, elected to hit it hard, but the defender read it, much to her detriment, unfortunately. And then on the save there, a little bit of an off angle. Those are the tiny differences that make a really big mark on series like this when you this high-level, equal gameplay. As another shot rains down from the sidewall, and Ducks putting an exclamation point on game 1 for BS Plus.
BS Plus really trying to run up their goals per game average. The last series, they scored no less than 5 goals a game. It was 5 goals, then 6, and then 10 in game number 3. Putting a 5 spot on Flashes of Brilliance in game 1 continues the trend, and their offensive power is immense.
Yeah, I think if you're Flash of Brilliance here, you obviously need to make some adjustments. They're under pressure on defense, and it's something that we haven't seen from them all day. And as a nice dribble comes out, unfortunately shut down by BS Plus, and the ball does hit the ground. And Flashes of Brilliance, though, it's all about, I think, the challenges and controlling the ball for them. We know BS Plus competition can do that with ease. We saw them all day today. They're hitting the flip resets. They're finding each other out of the defensive end. They're going for those controlled plays, low risk, high rewards. And FOB kind of just getting sucked in.
Yeah, they just didn't really have like any kind of form on offense. There was a couple of opportunities for Talibird, and they had that one shot that they couldn't actually make contact on. It was a bit of a scrum in front of the box. And yeah, I mean, Flashes of Brilliance, really just no offense to speak of.
Yeah, and it really wasn't one solo player sticking out for BS that caused this onslaught of goals that we've been seeing all day. It's a full team effort from them. The ability to find each other, the chemistry they have with each other, and the cherry on top of that was their mechanics, which they haven't pulled out quite yet. They just scored 5 goals, and none of them were the high-level mechanics that we usually see from them. It was just the fundamental mechanics, the hard shots, being able to place the ball in the far corner from midfield when you're taking that boost on the counterattack, just barely beating out the defender by a minuscule margin as we head into game 2.
That redirect by Crimson certainly felt like a tone setter. Even though it was the second goal that BS Plus scored, that one just kind of put, put an exclamation point as to, yeah, you better watch out for us, and we better watch out for game 2 as players trying to get figured out what's going on. We'll get the game started as soon as possible.
Yeah, we're probably going to have a server switch here. Not confirmed, but no, it looks like the players are going to load in.
Okay.
We are going into game 2. Okay, I was a little scared that they were doing the lightning dance. Any Rocket League player knows this in a private match. You just spam change teams to stall the game from starting, making sure all players join in.
You know, we got to ask one of our Rocket League statisticians what the world record is for longest lightning dance. Because I've been a part of some pretty long ones in my time casting. I can imagine it's got to be at least like 2 or 3 minutes, right? Maybe even more than that. I don't know. But as far as records are concerned, BS plus competition, having to dive back for this stop, Crimson. That's a good follow-up touch as well. It didn't pinch off of the post. Talibird trying to slow it down again. She was able to fake them out last time, but flashes of brilliance.
Nice job.
Angie falling back onto it.
Oh, what?
Longest
no
stall
way
is
that's accurate.
47 minutes?
Oh, okay.
Production.
I just got baited.
Wow! I was like, they came up with that so quick. I was like, there's no way. And then oh, well, you know, it's every day that I get fooled, and production gets this one on me today. Congratulations. This one popped up in front of the box, and flashes of brilliance,
Great
quick
support.
defense back to the orange half.
Yeah, great support from Tally. This is what we want to see at FOB. Look at this, floating mid ball. Can you do anything with it? Yeah. Tries to find the midfield. It's a bit behind the teammate, but the idea is there. They just have to execute. More of those free balls. You want to capitalize on mistakes from the defense. Mistakes can be a lack of control, you know, a 50 popping your way, and you as a team want to be ready. So as soon as that opportunity happens, instant strike with an opportunity to attack.
Looking better for flashes of brilliance, though. Rotation's clean. Ooh, touch from Talibird. She was able to actually break out for her team. Crimson helping Angie out. Trying to push that ball back and give up possession. She was successful in doing so.
Yeah, I think for FOB, I want to see them not shoot as much, and it sounds weird to say, but when you get opportunities and you always just put it on target, those shots, if they're not very precise, and it's not that it's a lazy approach, but as Kira drops one down, almost create a scoring opportunity there. If you just end up shooting the ball all the time, it can lead to easy clears and you lose pressure that way. I'd like to see FOB hit it into space on the offensive side instead of just at net right now.
They gotta play more defense and they have to stretch for it, but they get a little help from BS Plus. The ball high in the air. Crimson gonna play winger and play the clear. She's gonna get the next touch, rips it back to the opposite side, forcing flashes of brilliance to really stretch, and they're not winning any of the 50s either. Stevens picks up the boost, but loses the 50, and finally flashes of brilliance break out. In fact, they've got the lead. Angie behind the goal.
Angie with a great dominance challenge, controls the ball on the sidewall, gets that nice 50, hits that part of the wall where it just ekes out towards the middle, dusts the defender, puts her team up 1-0. That's exactly what you need. FOB making the adjustments, starting off game 2 strong.
And it's a car change for Angie as well. She was in an octane in game 1. Back to the dominance, something we see her in most often. And you'll see that all the time with players, switching cars if things aren't feeling right. And a lot of times it just comes down to the mental game. Being able to just to reset.
No way.
Maybe one more touch. No boost for Ducks, but did fall back onto it, even had the reset. And I think you know how Ducks likes to play. I mean, she's rocking that phase decal, and something tells me that, you know, she's just loving those types of plays. She had that great flip reset goal in the quarterfinal as well. No, Crimson actually gets the dunk, and it's off and in. Ducks flying in, puts one right in the center.
Got 2 goals, Jorby, off of 50-50s here. This is how important challenges are. Kira just lets the ball get away from her. And we talked about the instant strikes off of defenders missing. Both of these teams putting it on display so far. Tied up with 1:46 to go.
Ooh. BS Plus just pulling off on that kickoff. And in fact, they might get a shot. It's a bouncer, saved, but it's just a rebound for Ducks. A little bit of boost and a slight back pass and another back pass as Angie tries to protect this ball desperately. Stevens actually wasted a lot of boost. It's gonna put her in an awkward position. Gets down to collect the canister and get this touch. So a good recovery from Stevens and gets the 50.
Yeah, Angie though.
Downfield by FOB.
She's all over that. Read it from the midfield. This is what FOB want. They start suffocating you. These balls go high into the air. Tally has to grab that corner boost. She does. Angie beats it up. That should leave Kira, but Ducks somehow gets up. And the pressure mounting. Tally's gonna have a free ball here. 88 boost to her name. She beats one, but Ducks, again, the positioning and the rotations out of BS Plus, they're so tough to break down.
Trying to break out. The ball just kicks away from Stevens. Tallybird dunked by Stevens on the play, but the rotations have been clean from flashes of brilliance. Tallybird, clean touch in the attacking third, and they continue to press. Kiralina next up off the ceiling, in front of the box. Shots coming, blocked on the near side of the post. There's Stevens again. The final 30 seconds, counterattack, downfield, the pass, it connects, lands, but she pulls off the play. The shot's gonna come a little late, off the bar and out. Flashes of brilliance surviving for now, but they can't get the break. They can't find the clear. Angie pulls another ball out towards midfield. Is this what finally breaks it? No. Stevens wins another touch, one-on-one, one touch, no dunk, taken away to the side. Final seconds, ticking down, no contact. Gives one more chance for flashes of brilliance. Tallybird pops it up high, not awkward at all, and well protected as the ball's popped up. Maybe one last chance for Tallybird. Puts this maybe on the ramp, but Duck slams it back downfield. We go to overtime.
Whew, what a last minute we had, back and forth. Both teams with chances, but the defenses of these teams, both really strong. And you have to say, this is an important series for FB as Ducks off the ceiling with the reset, with the air dribble. Can't get it to drop down, but it does enough to fall to Stevens. Puts it on the back wall, and it should be turned aside by Angie.
Popped in again. Crimson shuffles that ball out. That shot's looking good, but the save looked better from Kira. And a drop down, expecting a pass, but nobody was ready for it. Crimson turning off the ball, wins this 50. Kira actually has to veer off course to get back to that touch, and a hard one forces Tallybird up for the save. Here comes another one. BS Plus just will not stop, but Tallybird sends it flying back just a little wide of the net. Stevens trying to prevent the quick shot again, and a back pass might freeze them. Flashes of brilliance trying to keep that ball away.
Yeah, a lot of pressure coming out of FOB. Again, though, just a little bit of miscues, maybe not having the correct boost they want to go all in on an attack, but doing enough to get out of their offensive zone, and it bounces into the corner. It's going to be a counterattack opportunity as this ball lingers upfield, the redirect on target, but Tally booms it away.
Ooh, just that miss in midfield, but the follow-up was good from Stevens. Kiralina, she's been behind the ball a lot in the last minute or so, especially in this overtime so far. Tallybird getting back up to that touch, and was expecting a 50, and that actually led to a mistouch and giving up possession. There's another big 50 for BS Plus thanks to Stevens. 2 quick pads and a canister, but can't grab the ball as BS Plus competition trying to hang on to midfield, but there's Kiralina again, making life difficult, and then actually a perfect bounce coming straight down onto it, and it's taken away again. BS Plus, they look threatening when they get by the midfield line, but flashes of brilliance just put a cork in that offensive attack every time they get close.
Yeah, both teams with great rotations. Both goals have come off challenges and 50s with favorable bounces for each team. Who's going to make a play, Jorby, for their team? I think Tally, she's looked solid this game. As a 50 pops up, the net is open. It's a tough angle, but Angie slides it home to make the series even.
Tallybird looks so threatening in the sky. She forces 2 to commit. Angie, easy pickings right to the net. Flashes of brilliance tie the series up. And oh my goodness, Karma, I think we got a series.
Definitely. Angie, she made that shot look easy. It's never easy when the ball's like bouncing up like that and you're coming in with a lot of momentum like she had. Made it look easy there. Tally was there for support just in case anything went awry. But Angie, both goals for flashes of brilliance, have her name circled if this game gets away from, starts going into FOB's favor, excuse me. Great showing from her, but again, the series was so close, this game was so close. 2 goals coming off of challenges until that nice team play from FOB, which is what we expect to see.
This is a really gritty game. The first game you talked about how, we're not seeing the flashy mechanics out of BS Plus. It was a lot of hard shots, really gritty work. And then flashes of brilliance. I think, you're seeing why. When you talk about these highly mechanical teams, what's the best way to shut that down? Get up and challenge the ball. That's exactly what flashes of brilliance were able to do, especially on defense. Like, control of midfield felt like it was mostly in BS competition's favor. But every time they try to push it forward, somebody had enough in the tank to be able to make a 50 happen. And that is the kind of the tug of war with these two play styles, is if you can get to every challenge, you prevent mechanics from being a real factor in the game.
Yeah, as we head into game 3 here, I'm going to look for Ducks this game. She was feeling it last game, barely missed. You can see the confidence in her play. as usually I use mechanics as a barometer for how you're feeling as a player. If you're going into a series and you're usually a mechanical player and you're just playing basic, that tells me maybe you're not as confident on the day. But Dux isn't going to listen to any of it. She's off the ceiling, she's air dribbling, she's going for the double touch, triple touch, flip resets, and that's just
I'm telling you,
how she's feeling today.
Space decal energy, I'm telling you. I know Tallybird also rocking the space station decal, so two pretty mechanical teams there. Pretty for flashes of brilliance though, it's working a little bit better. Angie switching to the Dominus also looked a lot more comfortable in game number 2. And now that we're underway, we're in the rubber match. Who takes series advantage? Flashes of brilliance with flashes of confidence at the start of game number 3.
Yeah, I think for BS Plus, what you got to do here is try and set up your offense. You've been doing a great job on defense. You've been having the rotations. But the opportunities haven't really been created unless it's Ducky going for that solo play. As Angie drops it down towards off the crossbar. Can't find it, but Tally's going to have a challenge, which sets it up for Kira. She's got full boost off the sidewall. What can she do?
Gets bumped on her way back, but she's got some support. It's actually cleared away for now. Tallybird falls right back down onto it, wins the next 50. That's not going to get it done just yet. Flashes of Brilliance have to do a little bit more work. Angie trying to force that ball in. Look at the speed up high, dropping that back to Tallybird. 2 touches, a bouncer just high. Couldn't find the mark, but still they'll push. Tallybird getting the boost steal and the back pass. Carolina, not the best touch. Try to get back onto that. Probably better to leave that one for Angie. And it drops straight back down. BS Plus, though, under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, Boa Constrictor for FOB slowly closing in as they just set up this midfield pressure. The rotations are on. They have the boost advantage. Tally doesn't get the mid boost there. That's huge for Steven. That's going to buy her teammate a lot of space. Dux. Can she beat a defender with a dribble? She does. Up the wall. No boost, though, to her name. She's just going to flick it on. And it's on BS Plus to keep it in their half.
2 commit here for flashes of brilliance. No one makes contact either. Dux sends it up in front of the box. Saved again. Good recovery as they try to bring it back down. And Tallybird shuffles that ball away from Crimson. Next up, Angie wins the next touch. Steven's in a tough spot, but good recovery and a great follow-up touch off the side wall. Ducks can't get back to it, though, and flashes of brilliance back on offense, forcing the ball through in front of the box, and a lot of tight angles as we get to the back wall, but it's pushed back again, and another clear for BS Plus.
Yeah, great play from Ducks there. The support was there, and fast. It beat the opposition, putting it into the opponent's half, which has allowed BS Plus competition to have this pressure. Now, can they find the offense, though, Jorby? They've been struggling as it's towards the net, off the post, and in. Tally off her own back wall. And that's another FOB goal off of some space left by BS Plus.
And look who's the whole way downfield, getting in the way. That was savable and very likely would have been saved had Angie not gotten in the way, bumped the last defender on her rotation back to give flashes of brilliance the lead. And now in position to take control of the series, BS Plus, they've had the threats, but they need to generate that pressure. Tallybird starting to be unloaded here. There's another chance and another goal. This time it's Angie delivering the pain.
Yeah, tough bounce off the sidewall here off a challenge from Tally. It's in that awkward spot. You don't know if it's going to go out or more towards mid. Unfortunately for Angie, she read it the whole way. Much easier angle coming in as a striker to read that and puts them up 2-0. Flashes of Brilliance on a run right now. They haven't allowed a goal. I believe they've scored the last 5.
Just no control from BS Plus competition. Flashes of Brilliance won't let them have it, but hang on a second. That one just a little wide, and they can't get the rebound. It's clean enough with Stevens. She's been clutch for BS Plus in the past, and she was looking strong in game number 1, but since then has been quiet.
Yeah, I think BS Plus, though, you got to start bringing out the demos or a bit of a slower play. This fast mechanical play, FOB has clearly adapted to it. You need to start throwing a wrench into things. Make things awkward, like those touches. Put the ball high. Boost steal. Go for demos. Instead of putting everything on net, putting it into space is key as Crimson tries to keep it out of her corner.
Crimson challenged again, and flashes of brilliance just throwing chassis at the ball. Speedy on defense. Tallybird losing to Ducks, though. A chance off the rebound. Goal! Stevens finally collects for BS Plus.
Another great challenge from BS Plus off of an awkward double touch. Tally tried to save it, but she couldn't. Steven quickly up in the air, reads it, and hard as you like right at the net. And they're back in this with 1:39 remaining.
BS Plus might be all they need to wake up. But Angie got it on the cheat up. It's actually going to be Crimson's ball. 46 wins the next touch. Just going to headhunt here across the line, but she's not going to find anybody. And it's pushed back to the corner. Stevens, nice control there from the corner. Got the dunk onto Angie as well. This could be a push, but Carolina protecting that midfield boost. And the deletion, 2 deletions in fact, as a response. Tallyburn tried to protect it. Now in an awkward spot, she got caught on the post. Oh, it's off the crossbar and no goal. No. A massive chance to get the game tie, and goal goes by the wayside.
Yeah, Ducks couldn't find the angle there, and Kira went for a reverse half flip. Got caught on the lip of the goal there. Sometimes that causes some funky bounces, you lose a tire, got to go to Pep Boys and get a replacement. So all of these things going on for the teams, but Flash of Brilliance looking to close this out in the last 30 seconds.
Push back over to the corner. Looking like they're going to pick that one apart. Tallybird had that one lined up yesterday and picks that goal. 3-1 now for Flashes of Brilliance.
Yeah, not sure what was going on there. It looked like BS Plus had full control, maybe a little bit of a mistouch and panic in the corner, put it mid. No teammates there to help her, unfortunately. The only one there is Tally to put them up 2, and this game should be iced. Now it's time to waste the clock.
Ooh.
And what better, I thought they were scoring, I was gonna say, what better time to waste a score, but now you just wanna use all that boost, be efficient, make sure you're back.
Well, that shot is in. Stevens puts some lead on this one and delivers a rocket into the net, and they've bought themselves plenty of time, Karma, to come back to tie it.
Yeah, maybe a bit too passive there, trying not to overcommit. Ended up leaving just a ball at midfield, and Stevens, she'll just take that with grace, put it right hard where none of them can reach it, and just like that, a whiff comes out. Ooh. Thankfully, BS Plus a little bit late, but the demo, Steven, if she can get there, it is open middle, but Angie with the last second touch to give her team some time.
Stevens trying to buy more time for BS Plus. They opted for the boost. They don't have control of the ball. Tallybird's underneath it, and now they got to go the distance and probably in the air. Crimson pops it up initially. Where is the follow-up? It's not coming. Angie shuts it down, and now they do have to do it in the air. But Angie is there again to stop the push. It drops to the ground, and Flashes of Brilliance, Karma. You had a feeling, you predicted it, and they're in position to win the series.
Twitch chat molding right now, but the series is not over yet. Flashes of Brilliance, they do take that all-important Game 3 momentum game. They've won the last 2 in a row, so now it's on BS Plus to make those adjustments, Jorby. And I think you have to bring the demos out. We've mentioned it throughout the broadcast, but there needs to be space created on offense to get those passing plays. Whether it's slowing down the play, using your mechanics indirectly on offense, not towards the net, but just to beat the person in front of you. Get those demos, put the ball high instead of on target, put it up high, take the boost. Focus on pressure instead of immediate results in terms of a goal. And, you know, the boa constrictor that we referenced earlier in the series, you know, slowly just start to bleed out the boost from the other team and open stuff up for your offense.
I mean, Flashes of Brilliance have such a speedy defense. Anytime BS Plus competition try to catch them out on a boomer clear or any kind of hard clear, they're just launched up off the defensive third, and it's so hard to actually get any offense going when you're relying on that boomer to create space for you in the midfield. When the thirds are closed off, I mean, Flashes of Brilliance out here looking like NRG on defense, and they seem impossible to get by. So if they go to that physical game, maybe that can be what makes the difference to get by Flashes of Brilliance.
Yeah, it's really tough when a team is that good at rotations. They're not going to double commit very often. We talked about they're very, very disciplined on the ball. You need to be a little bit extra creative when teams get comfortable like this. They've won 2 in a row. They seem to be reading your offense. They're not really under a huge amount of pressure for an extended period of time.
Stevens going to get the first look at the ball, but she's out of boost. And we'll be happy with that touch out as Ducks gets underneath this one. Tried for the flip reset, and there's only one back. Stevens up in the air. She got beat. Tallybird, 2 touches, but not before Crimson could get there in the nick of time.
Kira's right on it, though. It's going to drop mid. Angie, Tally is not going to be able to get to this one. She's low boost. Should retreat here, but finds the challenge. Crimson going to scoop this one up. First time we've seen her on the Octane all day. Flips it past one. Angie, though, into a safe area on the save. Hugely important for Flashes of Brilliance.
Another clear to midfield. No one in immediate position. BS Plus willing to pull that ball back a little bit, and it does force Flashes of Brilliance to come up a little bit. That's a nice pass Stevens tries to cut that one out, but Carolina's up in the air. Now a battle for possession in midfield. A lot of hard touches, testing touches. And that first test failed by BS Plus. Carolina puts it high. Another test failed, but no shot comes to commit. Tallybird gets by them. Swing it back around. Do they have the shot? Ducks barely gets there in time, but Tallybird wants to come up, actually has to stay back as Carolina pushes Stevens off the ball. She is not messing around, playing the bull, and BS Plus thought they could get a shot, but it's immediately denied at the origin by Angie.
Yeah, that situation there where Stevens chose to challenge along the wall, that's a situation right there where I'd like to see a demo attempt instead of a challenge on the wall there. You're wasting a lot of boost, committing your car, and don't have much recovery time. But Ducks, we talked about her. She doesn't want to hear it. She's going for the double touch, and she's the one that I knew needed to step up for BS Plus.
You called her name, Karma. You said she needed to step up, and she nails that double tap right into the center. Beautiful setup by Ducks to give BS Plus competition the lead.
Yeah, it looked great. They suffocated them, found an opportunity, grabbed that mid boost, got a fortunate bounce, and FOB caught lacking, left the backboard open, instantly punished as a 2-on-1 goes the other direction.
High bouncer, and another high ball. Tallybird up, expends the tank. It's only Carolina with boost. Angie and Tallybird on 0 right now. 1-on-1 in front of the air, and they couldn't make contact. Just missing that touch. Stevens trying to rotate back out, look for some more boost. BS Plus are full of it now. But flashes of brilliance, 2 solid 50s, gives them some space. Tallybird gives up possession. Ducks kicks it up high. Whiff! Goal! Ducks again, that's her second.
I don't know if it'll appear on the replay, but there's a demo right there from Crimson. Ducks puts it high. Also, Kira had a demo coming behind her. BS Plus utilizing spacing really well, hitting it high off the back wall, forcing FOB to make awkward plays. They can't do it, and this is the signs you want to see if you're a BS Plus fan, like Twitch chat is.
I mean, now you're seeing both of the things that you wanted out of this, Karma. You got the Ducks double tap, and then you got, ooh, that bang off the post from Angie.
Sheesh.
Could not quite commit on the play. That would have been a good one, but you're also getting that physical game out of BS Plus. Now here's Stevens again, pushed away. Crimson, it's actually good controlling touch to put it back downfield. Redirect popped it up, but there's no boost for Crimson to chase it. We'll let Angie come back up, and Tallybird will follow for flashes of brilliance, still looking for their first goal of game 4.
Great clear from Tally, but read by BS Plus. The double flip reset? Nope, just one. Ducks doesn't get the dunk she wanted. Tally sends it. But Stevens keeps it in. FOB under a lot of pressure right now. This is Ducks with full boost and the back wall open. Almost had it, and FOB escapes by the skin of their teeth.
Happy there's not a third on the board. Carolina up in the air, but no boost to follow this one up. Tallybird tried to get behind for the demo, couldn't make contact. Flashes of brilliance. No reason to panic just yet. Tallybird gets over 1, has enough to fall back onto it, and Ducks was expecting a touch, didn't get one. Here's another 50, but the rotation's clean. Crimson up in the air for the redirect. She's hit 1 already today, but that one just a little wide.
Yeah, great idea there. BS Plus, we're entering, I like to call it winning time, Jorby. A minute left, you're up a goal. You gotta be smart with your plays. Don't wanna overcommit. We talk about it all the time. Ducks, she doesn't care though. She's going for the flip reset, gets it. Almost gets the triple. It's open, floating in the midfield, but no one there. FOB, other direction, doesn't make contact, and it's sent the other way.
At this point, flashes of brilliance are just hoping for a goal and some time left on the clock. As this one pushed out to the side. Carolina will get first look at the ball. Pushes it downfield. Ducks pushes it back out to her teammate. Smart touch, but then a smarter challenge from Angie. Stevens getting that ball around, makes it awkward for Tallybird. Makes Tallybird help her out, and Carolina's now awkward as BS Plus competition wastes all that time on the clock. No counterattack comes. Carolina has got another save, but there's just not enough on offense for this team. One more clear for Tallybird, but it is BS Plus competition having the speedy defense at the end of game 4.
Yeah, they controlled the boosts the entirety of this of this game. As one goes home, Ducks puts them up 3-0, having herself a game, and facing elimination. That's when you know you need your mechanical player, the player with confidence coming out, stepping up huge for her team in this one, Jorby, as we're gonna head into game 5.
Yeah, toss your caps, because that's a hat trick for Ducks. Absolutely popped off in game number 4 to keep BS Plus competition in the tournament. And it looks like Courtney was right. This one is going 5, Karma.
Shout out Courtney for the analyst prediction there, Courtney. Hopefully you don't take my job one day. But heading into game 5 for FOB, left blanks, donuts on the board for them. BS Plus competition with the hat trick from Ducks. If you're FOB, you got to be a little bit nervous to get blanked in game 4. They seem to struggle with anything super high. You know, you saw a lot of balls go over the top of a defender, or they were flying backwards at it from the midfield. So maybe if you're FOB, trust in your rotations a little bit more. It could have been nerves maybe creeping in. You know, you hold that accelerator just like a little too long because you're antsy. Just be careful of that for FOB. If you cover that back wall and you cover that high space, it should make things way more difficult for BS competition. It did seem like the back wall was open a lot throughout game 4.
Yeah, Flashes of Brilliance, just a lot of their touches, a lot of missed touches on defense, just giving up possession again, where I thought they had better control in the last game. That didn't seem to be the case this time around. I'm not sure where exactly things went wrong with that, but it was still pretty close for the most part. They still were able to get some opportunities on the net, but main adjustment for you, the one thing you want to see from Flashes of Brilliance?
Yeah, maybe sit a bit back farther or challenge earlier. It's probably difficult because they're low on boosts, but you got to be smart with your challenges to conserve that boost amount as it hops towards middle. Thought we had another early goal there, but lots of pressure coming up for BS Plus as we're entering Champions Field, Jorby.
And Tallybird up for this ball against the backboard, having a control. Crimson coming straight back down onto it. Could have been dangerous, but BS Plus actually get back on it. Ducks trying to get across, get that bump on a Tallybird. A lot of pressure here from BS Plus competition. Ducks got the full tank, sees the pass to Crimson. Up is Ducks very quickly. Couldn't get the 50 against Tallybird, but it does slow down the counter from Flashes of Brilliance. They couldn't even get out of the corner, and still flying in the air. Big dunk from Crimson. No shot's gonna come. BS Plus really holding on to that midfield line. Quick pass, and what a save off the crossbar by Carolina.
FOB under a lot of pressure. They need to dribble these balls that are bouncing in front of their net. A bit of panic, hitting the ball right to the BS Plus players at midfield. Slow the play down, take those low 50s right here. Kira, so yeah, I'd like to see her dribble that, but gets it by a defender anyways. But it's all about possession, Jorby, and FOB seem to be, you know, just slamming the ball away right now.
Oh, another shot. Carolina gets in front of it. They do have to find a way to get the ball away from BS Plus because they are swarming the blue box right now. Another pop and a pass. Ducks really prioritizing those lateral passes. They've been working to effect and haven't gotten a goal yet in game 5. But Tallybird actually stealing this one away. If she can get behind it and set it up, but it's stuffed by Crimson. And here comes Stevens to clean it up, but it's pushed right back in. Angie trying to open a hole. Carolina also in the way and pushed back over to the corner. 2 minutes go. We've had some quick action on both halves of the pitch. Flashes of Brilliance just couldn't force the ball in front of the box.
Tally, though, with a chance, opportunity, puts it past one. Ducks barely getting a piece of the car on that one as it's stuck in the corner. BS Plus have been doing great in the corners with their challenges all game long, but a miss comes out. It's still in that corner, Jorby, as it floats towards mid. Kira can't find the net, and they can breathe for now.
Well defended by BS Plus, and now back on offense. Ducks is there! What a shot! Ducks again! Her 4th goal in 2 games puts BS Plus on top.
You could tell from the beginning of this series, Jorby, she was confident heading in. She stepped up huge last game, scored a hat trick, and she's continuing the hot hand right now, putting them up 1-0, game 5, half to go.
Flashes of Brilliance still in it by a big margin. It's Crimson pushes this ball back down. Probably flipped a little early on that ball and barely got it safe with Stevens. Here comes the rebound. Goal! Angie quickly ties it up.
Bang, right off the kickoff. Answer it so quickly. You love that. If you're an FOB fan, Tally, quick follow-up. And Angie, not to be forgotten, even though she did score the goal, before that, great 50 off the wall, Jorby, and Tally reading it the whole way. Great teammate support out of FOB.
Halfway through, and we have a tight one on Champions Field. BS Plus really trying to get around, trying to fool the defense with some of their touches, trying to pull them out a little bit early. And Carolina just trying to prevent the bump. Here comes Steven, shots high and denied by Talibird. Back over to the corner, Ducks got the first touch off the back wall. Ooh, very precarious by flashes of brilliance, and it's diving in front. Somehow Carolina gets the save, and Talibird just launches it back downfield.
Yeah, who's going to have the confidence from FOB to dribble this balls out, take control? Because we know Ducks is confident in the air, and BS Plus competition probably feeding off Ducks as the ball goes off the backboard. Tally flicks it mid, gets the follow, and it goes into the corner, Jorby, but it's going to be rattled by BS Plus.
Flashes of Brilliance getting a little panicky on defense. A couple times now we've seen a double commit, but Carolina gives them the double tap, and Flashes of Brilliance have just stolen the lead.
Kira, are you kidding me with the Venom off the ground double touch into a double touch off the back wall? What composure to be able to slide that in with such a tough angle and put her team up with advantage as we're getting close to winning time in Game 5.
All of a sudden, BS Plus, they thought they might have had some time, but now they've got nothing. Carolina, the hero for Flashes of Brilliance, delivers 2 big goals.
A disaster for BS Plus. Maybe a bit of a weird touch from Ducks, but Kira doesn't care. She's there. The playing janitor cleans up the mess, and did she ever? Gives her goal a comfortable 2-goal lead. Now FOB, got to be careful here. The 2-goal lead is notorious for being too much as a shot comes in, but Tally up quick and steers it away.
My goodness, it was a hard shot. Now Talibird, no boost. Get back to that ball, pre-flip into it. He's pushed back over to the corner. Flashes of Brilliance, a 4th goal surely might put this under wraps. When Stevens got the ball, tried the flick, not the best flick on it, but you said the challenge, even better, and it's pushed downfield again by Talibird.
Matt Crimson going for the double. Somehow gets it. She lands with possession. The shot's on. Tally's there, though. Where's the second person? Steven gets beat. That's going to open up a lot of space for Tally. Angie's going to call her off. A bit awkward here for them, but Kira cleans it up, puts it to the side as it's heading right back into the FOB zone.
Push back over to the corner. Angie just trying to get in the way. Will keep the push. The net was actually open. Maybe a little bit of time. That could have been the 4th goal, but it's pushed back to the corner, and time is running thin, and Crimson really couldn't buy a touch. This one set in front of the box, but nobody from Flashes of Brilliance commits on the play. They both sat back on the midfield line, unwilling to take a risk, trying to kill as much time as possible on the clock. Here's Crimson again, keeping control of the ball for BS Plus, but Flashes of Brilliance, Angie the Thief, takes away the game, takes away the series for Flashes of Brilliance.
Angie wants that Chipotle. I can hear her right now. She's hungry to make that final. With an MVP performance this series, she had the hat trick earlier. She had the closing goals here in this match. And Flashes of Brilliance looking, dare I say, Jorby, brilliant in this Game 5.
Absolutely. Looking bright as Ducks tries for the last call. Maybe a goal for the road. But BS Plus competition eliminated. From the Radiant Rocket League Series, it's Flashes of Brilliance going to play the Kansas City Pioneers.
Shout out to BS Plus. Flashes of Brilliance take the series, but they had a stellar tournament performance, dropping what seemed to be 5 goals a game until FOB seemed to figure out the key combination to the safe there and wrap it up, taking the win. And for me, it was all about the team for this Flashes of Brilliance team. We didn't really see many double commits, Jorby. We saw the fundamentals like we know that this team has. And in high-pressure situations, I like to lean on that a little bit. I know the mechanics usually come out when you're feeling confident, but you have to have that confidence in order to play that particular style. And it felt like, to me, BS Plus, even though they were, playing great series, Flashes of Brilliance, when you play that fundamental style, you're a lot more laxed. It's not as stressful as, having to hit that flip reset, having to do those double touches. They seem to just focus on rotations, boost starving, team plays, and capitalizing, most importantly, on the BS competition mistakes.
And a lot of talk about, Talibird, her ability to control the ball, and excuse me, not Angie. Angie, who is who I want to talk about, because a lot of those goals came in just from her swerving around in the orange half and getting a little bump on some of those long balls that went in. And so just that little bit, just the chips. You don't always have to get a demo, but that physical game can mean so much. Every player on Flashes of Brilliance had a recipe to add to the dinner of this semifinal and an excellent series played. We got a thrilling 5 games, and we're about to get a thrilling best of 7. That's right, the grand finals coming up after the break. Kansas City Pioneers versus Flashes of Brilliance. We'll have that one real soon.
What a series, what a semifinal we just had. Our girl Courtney was right. It went to 5. BS Plus versus Flashes of Brilliance, our 2nd and 3rd seed from the Premier WCBC League. Wow. And it was Flashes of Brilliance taking it away all the way at the end. And it came down to the wire, Jorby. Both of you were so excited. Was it really tough to see who was going to win at the very end? Or did you think Flashes of Brilliance were going to inch out?
Honestly, the game started with Flashes of Brilliance coming out with like 5 goals. And we thought it was just going to be more of the same, more, 5+ goal games for BS Plus competition. But then Flashes of Brilliance downloaded them.
Yeah, they stepped up. They had the rotations. They were finding each other in the midfield. They were talking about like that boa constrictor rotation, just putting so much pressure on BS Plus. It was just tough for them to break through the FOB defense consistently. They had the mechanical prowess throughout the whole tournament, and it seemed like maybe FOB didn't care. They were challenging early. They weren't giving them that space to do the mechanics, and they were suffocating them.
Yeah, and I remember you pointing out in game 2, one of the only overtimes we had on broadcast. There was so little of them, surprisingly. But Carmel, you pointed out that you really liked BS Plus's defensive positioning, and it just put a stop. It was such a low-scoring game, 2-1 for FOB in that game. But bring me through how much you liked BS Plus's defense.
Yeah, I thought the whole series was just amazing gameplay. They were both even throughout the whole thing. Both of those goals at one point came off of 2 challenges, which led to the overtime, right? So nothing was really giving in terms of defense. But eventually, I think BS Plus maybe just got caught. Maybe the nerves got to them in Game 5. The control and the defensive positioning that we were used to just kind of slipped away from them. I don't know if it was, what FOB was doing in terms of pressure or if they were boost starving them. It's hard to exactly tell, but whatever it was, FOB was making them super uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it really just comes down to how your challenges are going, right? And I feel like that was really the name of the game for
sure.
Flashes of Brilliance, because you could talk about every player winning crucial 50s when they needed to. Angie, especially, Tallybird, with her control on top of it, got Flashes of Brilliance out of what would have been some tough defensive spots. And sometimes you just gotta win the war of attrition. It's not all Flash in Rocket League. Sometimes it's gritty, and that's what this series was.
It's all Flashes of Brilliance going to the final against KCP, who were the 3rd seed. I don't know who the favorite was really, but we all thought BS Plus after they choked out Silver Sirens with like 10 goals in one game. You're like, BS Plus have peaked, as Hercules likes to say. But we'll have a Chipotle MVP of the match shortly, and it's honestly so hard to pick one. Even Ducks is like a name that didn't happen a lot in WCBC, mostly because everyone is so amazing. She had a hat trick, but it was Angie, the glue to this team, who wins the Chipotle match MVP.
Yeah, she had 3 goals, 4 saves for her team. Lots of touches on the ball, and she was there to capitalize on the BS competition mistakes, which is difficult to do, to read the play very well from a team that doesn't normally make mistakes. The fact that she was there recognizing the opportunity that was coming, that's really great game sense from her.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Not only scoring crucial goals in crucial moments, but crucial bumps also to give her teammates goals. They really employed every single tactic that they needed to. Angie was at the center of that, absolutely deserved MVP.
Oh, Angie gave them such a big lead in Game 3. She helped them tie it up in Game 5. Angie did it all. But this is some of the best. I think this was my favorite match of the whole weekend. Agree? Disagree?
Yeah, honestly, yes. That was really
Agreed.
fun. It was probably the highest level game, I think, or highest level match from both teams that we've seen so far, for sure.
And it's not even the final. So we'll let Angie rest because the final's right around the corner. But we do have a Chipotle MVP interview with her teammate, Kira, as I'd love to hear from her before we go into that really crucial final match. Kira, how's it going? Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, how are you guys?
Good. We're shaking a little bit, but I'm sure you're going through a lot. Bring me through the emotions. You're now top 2, and I know you're a top team in the WCBC Premier League, but how much does it mean to you to get this far in the Radiant Rocket League Series?
It feels really good. BS Plus is a good team, so beating them feels pretty good. And happy to play KCP in the grand finals because we're good friends with all of them.
That's good to hear.
That's always fun to be able to play your friends in a grand final. But I have to ask you, because we don't see a lot of different cards in Rocket League, but you rock a Venom. What is it about the Venom that you love so much?
I don't know. I've been playing it for about 5 or 6 months maybe. I just wanted to try out a hybrid hitbox, and I happen to like the Venom, so just been going with it.
Awesome.
Well, it's certainly working out for you. I wanted to talk about one play in particular that stood out to me in Game 5. You went for a challenge, and I don't know if you planned this or not, but just to hear your thought process, the ball bounced off the ground back into you, and you somehow made an awesome read off of the back wall to sneak it into the corner, put your team up 1, and what was going through your head there? Was that the object of the play? What was going on in your head?
I don't know. It just kind of happened. I calmed mid because I thought I'd just be passing in mid, and then it went in. So that was really nice. Really lucky.
Hey, we always take those, right?
Best
Sometimes
result.
the mistakes are the best ones.
Yeah, totally. You got to say calculated every time. So
Yeah,
you're supposed to say
exactly.
that, calculated, not just luck. But you're maybe going to need a lot of luck going into this next match against Kansas City Pioneers. That's your final matchup for $6,000. I want to hear your thoughts on how you think that series is going to go.
I think it'll go all the way, probably. We've scrimmed them both yesterday and today before the tournament, and it's been close games every time, so.
Ooh,
Awesome.
that's exciting. So you're expecting a close one?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay. I'm really excited because if this series was an appetizer for the final, we're in for a treat. Thank you so much for the interview, Kira. We'll let you go get ready and wishing you the best of luck.
Best of
All
luck,
right,
Kira.
thank you.
Best of luck.
Wow. Kira, flashes of brilliance. They're expecting a close one against the Kansas City Pioneers next. Are we on the same page? You think it's going to be close?
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
definitely. Oh, yeah. I think flashes of brilliance, they have what it takes, for sure.
Especially when you have, teams that are friends and scrimming each other often. The familiarity there, that usually leads to a close series.
Yeah, you're not going to feel as much discomfort. There's not as much, like, a lot of times players can project feelings onto the cars on the other side of the field if you don't know who they are, and then you get into your own head that way. That definitely happens. But when you're friends with everybody on the pitch, you just want to be better than them.
Well, we only have one series yet to go. Look at our bracket to see how our teams have made it here. We had a group stage in day one. Everyone played each other, and it's ended up being Kansas City Pioneers, our #1 seed from the WCBC Premier League, against Flashes of Brilliance, again in the Premier League, but the 3rd seed. But big favorites coming in. We had a Game 5 in the semis. BS Plus were toppled. Parabellum Black shut down 3-0. Not able to scratch the Kansas City Pioneers. So I'm wondering how fired up KCP are.
Oh, I mean, if they got to be fired up to be in another grand final. They topped the league in WCBC, and this is kind of proving it. Proving that they are the best team in WCBC by making it to the end of this bracket, because this was a brutal group stage. Into a single elimination will always be the most brutal tournament format that you can play in. Yeah. So you got to be feeling great that you made it to this point at this stage of the tournament.
Yeah, I think both teams, win or lose here, super proud of how they played. When you make a grand final, it seems like it's a cherry on top of everything that you've gone through, and of course you're both trying to win. But I don't think either team will be upset with a loss here.
Well, we hope none of our teams fall flat, but you at home won't fall flat either, thanks to our partner Pep Boys. Look at that segue.
Nice.
So before we go into our next match, our partner Pep Boys has an offer running for the month of March. Head over to your local Pep Boys and buy 3 select Cooper Adventure tires and get the 4th one free plus installation, because who wants to worry about that? Click the link in chat to find out more about this deal and find a store near you. We have our grand final of the Radiant Rocket League Series around the corner. It's the Kansas City Pioneers versus Flashes of Brilliance to take a half of that $15,000 prize pool. We'll see you after this break.